Then, as soon as Blake Lively filed her complaint, Liz Plank was out, instantly said she quit, a show of support and solidarity with Blake after everything dropped.
It looks like Blake Lively is tripling down on a gag order to stop Justin Baldoni from publishing all of their text messages. People were sort of just noticing that Blake Lively was not the nicest person. Like, she was a mean girl, tone deaf for things that were...
It turns out that Blake Lively was caught on tape talking about how she manipulates people around her in order to take control of the movies upon which she works.
The ongoing legal battle involving Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni has now taken an unexpected turn, with Candace Owens stepping in to expose shocking new details. The controversy is no longer just about the lawsuit. Now it appears that Blake Lively's team is targeting insiders who have spoken out against her and Ryan Reynolds. New reports suggest that Lively and Reynolds' legal team are making desperate moves to control the narrative, going after insiders who have leaked damaging information about their legal troubles. Meanwhile, Owens has come forward with evidence suggesting that Ryan Reynolds' alleged excessive control over Blake Lively has been a major issue behind the scenes. With more text messages, videos, and insider accounts surfacing, it looks like the case is getting messier than ever, and Candace Owens isn't holding back.
Because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull, because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do. And so it was a really strange position to be in.
With their public image on the line, Blake and Ryan's legal team has reportedly been working overtime to shut down damaging reports and discredit whistleblowers. Instead of focusing on proving their case, it appears they are more concerned with suppressing evidence that could hurt their reputations. If they were truly confident in their innocence, why go to such extreme lengths to silence insiders? This desperate legal strategy only raises more questions about what they might be hiding.
Then, as soon as Blake Lively filed her complaint, Liz Plank was out, instantly said she quit, a show of support and solidarity with Blake after everything dropped. And people began looking into it. And particularly there was this TikToker, Steph with the Deets, who had showed that perhaps the reason that motivated her to get on the side of Blake Lively without actually looking into anything, or at least speaking to her co-host and hearing his side of things, may have been what we have discovered since, a repeat sort of Ryan Reynolds psychopathic strategy of essentially love bombing people, giving them roles they don't deserve in places that they don't belong, and basically pretending to be the best, most amazing friend because the person that they're targeting and the person that they want to isolate is a person like Justin Baldoni who's connected to that individual. It's all about isolation. And so Liz Plank was a perfect person for them to go after because first and foremost, if you don't know anything about her, I had never heard her name before this scandal. Okay then guys, well, Ari Emanuel is the most powerful guy in Hollywood and he has spoken out, so I guess case closed. As long as Ryan and Blake are being nice to billionaires, right? Why are we upset? Do you hear that? They're probably also nice to Oprah, I'd imagine, and Mark Zuckerberg. And hey, obviously they've been friends with Taylor Swift for 10 years. So clearly if you have enough money, which Ari Emanuel does, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds will be nice to you. So what exactly is the problem here? All you little mom sleuths and everybody following this case and reading through the messages and seeing how horrific they are, reading the messages they sent, okay? Not imagining how they treated them, being able to read the messages, being able to see how they were speaking to people behind the scenes, calling herself, oh, I could just have very powerful people ruin your life.
Candace Owens has now revealed new information that suggests Ryan Reynolds has exercised excessive control over Blake Lively. If true, this could explain why Blake has been making questionable decisions throughout this legal battle. Some sources claim that Ryan has been the one pulling the strings behind the scenes, trying to orchestrate a defense that will protect both of them from legal and PR fallout. But could this backfire and ultimately make things worse for both of them?
So 2 days after Blake Lively filed her federal complaint in court, her CRD complaint in Los Angeles, her Sisterhood of the Lively Pants friends, actresses, America Ferrera, Amber Rose, Tamlin, and Alexis Bledel, I think is her name. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Anyways, they were her co-stars in a 2005 film, and they have maintained their friendship over years. They penned this long letter of support, essentially saying that, quote, as Blake's friends and sisters for over 20 years, we stand with her in solidarity as she fights back against the reported campaign. Throughout the filming of It Ends With Us, we saw her summon the courage to ask for a safe workplace for herself and colleagues on set.
In another shocking move, Blake and Ryan have allegedly attempted to shut down a website that was set to release text messages and video evidence against them. The question is, why would they want this website taken down if the evidence was false? The attempt to control what information reaches the public is making it harder for them to claim innocence. If these texts and videos are real, then it could completely shift public perception of them.
It looks like Blake Lively is tripling down on a gag order to stop Justin Baldoni from publishing all of their text messages. What is she actually afraid of here? Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and we have some massive updates regarding the It Ends With Us legal PR battle between Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni. Before we get to this latest filing, I want to rewind a bit and remind all of us of what actually is happening so far. Over the start of the weekend, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds accused Justin and team of the continuing smear campaign against them and doubled down on her gag order request. Basically, this document, which was dropped on the 24th of January, goes in to sort of say, listen, they're trying to demand that, as it says here, like, just because Lively parties provided the New York Times with the otherwise confidential administrative complaint.
Now, a co-worker of Ryan Reynolds has come forward to reveal new information about his role in the legal controversy. This could be a major development, especially if the co-worker has direct knowledge of how Ryan has handled the situation behind the scenes. With so many people speaking out against them, Blake and Ryan's ability to control the narrative is slipping away.
People were sort of just noticing that Blake Lively was not the nicest person. Like, she was a mean girl, tone deaf, for things that were being called out. And just for sake of brevity, like, the two big things were she was promoting her alcohol brand during a film that's about domestic violence, which was just a really bad look, given that most domestic violence is triggered by alcoholism. But she's, named one of the drinks at the premiere after the abuser character in the movie. It was just a really bad look. And then beyond that, people just got an attitude from her during all the junkets and interviews, particularly this one junket that sort of resurfaced where she and Parker Posey, an actress, like, really were just mean girling this poor junket woman who posted the video like, this is the interview that made me want to quit Hollywood. So there was just a lot of stuff piling up that made Blake not seem very likable. Yeah. And that's where I got in on it when that started happening. And then Ryan was writing the movie, hosts some podcast about masculinity, whatever, like, no shade. But I've only defended him because I've been watching Blake's sort of manipulation, narcissism, like ego maniacal. Like, there was a whole text that got dropped where she's like, she was basically, the real story, it seems, from Justin's lawsuit is she was trying to take control of the movie, like, before it even shot. Justin wasn't just her co-star, director, producer, but he got the rights to the book before it was popular all over the world. And you could just tell she wanted the rights and she wanted control. She wanted to direct the movie. And that's coming out in all the text exchanges and crew people. Like, they didn't have a good creative control, connection on the movie. But there was a text exchange before even shooting.
Another resurfaced clip appears to show Blake admitting to stealing and lying to directors. If this is true, it could be used as further evidence to support Baldoni's claims against her. This raises even more doubts about her credibility in the lawsuit.
Blake Lively is dumb, and I mean really dumb. She has told on herself so many times, and people digging up old videos. Take a listen to her. And she explains at this Forbes Women's Summit about how she likes to come in essentially like a Trojan horse and take over a project. And even though she pretends like she's just going to be an actress at first, no, that's not good enough for her. She has to make sure that she has agency over the entire thing.
I mean, I think I've just done it enough. You know, you learn to sort of, when I was younger in my life and career, I would sort of shape myself to the version of myself that I thought that they wanted. Or when I would show up on a set, I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say.
In yet another twist, Blake seems to have exposed herself, admitting to manipulative behavior. This admission could be damaging in court, especially since Baldoni's legal team is arguing that she tried to manipulate the media against him. If Lively's own words confirm the pattern of behavior Baldoni is accusing her of, then this case just became even more difficult for her.
It seems that Blake Lively and her team is in trouble because a video has surfaced in which she admits things that, well, are making her look really bad. Really bad. I'm going to play the video. We're gonna play it, her words, and then we're gonna be analyzing and see what does it mean for her case, and to decide if Justin Baldoni or Blake Lively, which one of the two is the bad guy in here. Because you know that at some point I gave her the benefit of the doubt, and even if Justin Baldoni looks like a legit good guy, countless of times psychopaths all over the world have looked like a good guy and have fooled everybody. So let's watch this. TMZ, according to Blake Lively, she says, "I want to have authorship." You know what do you do in those instances, Blake? You direct your own movie. You know that worked really well for Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck wrote the screenplay of Good Will Hunting. He won the Oscar with Matt Damon for that screenplay. It was nice. Ben Affleck has been in great movies. Ben Affleck has great experience as a director as well. But it's not like he's an actor in a movie and he's trying to, like, I'm acting in this movie. I'm trying to mess with the role of the director because I have this vision.
Another resurfaced clip has raised even more concerns about Blake's history of misleading behavior. At this point, it's clear that her past actions are coming back to haunt her, and it's making her defense harder and harder to maintain. How much more damaging footage is going to surface?
It turns out that Blake Lively was caught on tape talking about how she manipulates people around her in order to take control of the movies upon which she works. Oops! That turns out to be a bad tactic. As I've said before, my first advice as a lawyer to all possible clients: don't do criming on tape. Criming on tape is stupid and bad, and don't do it. It's not a crime to do this, but it does make it look a little suspicious that you are using exactly these tactics against Justin Baldoni, apparently.
It's just as important to say, okay, I believe in this, and that's why I'm standing up for it, and that's why I'm not being difficult. And then there are other moments to go like, am I the in the room? Like, what is happening here? I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say.
The situation gets even worse for Blake as new evidence has exposed more lies she has told in the past. Her credibility is already in question, but this new revelation makes it even harder for the public to trust her. At what point does her defense completely collapse under the weight of her own contradictions?
Here's a question for all of the lawyers out there, or legal scholars. I am one of those. Perez Hilton here. And if somebody lies in their legal complaint, is that illegal? Because in his lawsuit against Taylor Swift's bestie and her husband Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni alleges that Blake Lively boldly lied, repeatedly. But we will talk about one instance that has many ripples and proof. Justin Baldoni seemingly has a lot of evidence to back up his claims. If you remember, one of the very first stories that came out of the whole It Ends With Us drama was this one allegation that Blake Lively felt Justin Baldoni fat-shamed her.
A newly uncovered video of Blake Lively has surfaced, and sources say it completely ruins her case. If this footage contradicts what she's been saying in court, she might be in serious legal trouble.
Blake Lively might have just done herself in. in this battle with Justin Baldoni. Although she didn't do it intentionally, it was something she said
long before she ever worked with Justin Baldoni.
Right, but there's something she said that has now been resurfaced, and it is right on the nose as far as what the issues are in her battle with Justin Baldoni. Back in 2022, she was speaking at a Forbes Power Women Summit.
Yeah.
After years of maintaining a clean public image, it seems that Blake's past is finally catching up with her. If this many people are coming forward now, it means that the industry is no longer afraid to expose the truth. Her once flawless reputation is now in serious jeopardy.
Because I also saw these comments on my last video, this is not the first instance that she has had issues. Gossip Girl, Leighton Meester had issues with her, couldn't stand her. Armie Hammer was supposed to do a larger episode arc when he guest starred on Gossip Girl, being the love interest of her, and he had to cut it short because he couldn't work with her. A lot of the cast and crew has come out and said that she was super difficult to work with. And that was a show that she was on for years and years. And she starred in A Simple Plan with Anna Kendrick, that movie where Blake Lively looked fabulous. Her fashion was really the reason why I like that movie. Her and Anna Kendrick didn't get along, which now all of a sudden I think they're going to make a part 2. And the director of that movie has since come out and said that he supports Blake through all of this, which is all fine and dandy, but there were issues on that movie as well. A lot of people, friends that I knew, went to see that movie not knowing what it was actually about because they hadn't read the book, and the press wasn't doing a good job of depicting it because the press was focusing on Blake Lively, not what Justin Baldoni was saying. Then she was promoting her hair care line with Target, which was a bust, and she claims that she had been perfecting this for years and years. I'm like, girl, you've always had good hair. This has nothing to do with the hair care line that you've created. Some people are just blessed with better hair than others. It's not because of the shampoo you're using. You're not fooling anybody else.
The revelations coming from Candace Owens and insiders are making it harder and harder for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds to escape this scandal. With new clips exposing Blake's manipulative tactics, Ryan's alleged controlling behavior, and legal documents surfacing daily, their desperate attempts to silence critics are only making them look guiltier.
Speaking of which, it's time for a thing I hate that is actually attached to the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni situation. So, I had the misfortune a couple of months ago of being on a plane and looking for a movie to watch and settling on Deadpool versus Wolverine. I know some people like this movie. Some people are stupid. This movie is bad. It is a bad movie. Every joke is too long. It's the same joke over and over, which is some sort of strange homoeroticism between Deadpool and Wolverine, mainly from Deadpool toward Wolverine. The plot makes zero sense at all. It's 8 hours long. It's just terrible. Again, apparently people sort of love this movie because they thought that it was kind of just wisecracking Ryan Reynolds doing his thing. But every line is ad-libbed and not particularly well.
And now that more and more people are speaking out, the walls are closing in. The real question now is, how much longer can they keep this act up before the truth fully unravels?